Hey everybody! Welcome to another episode of LF & Co. Cooking. It's Lindsay, and tonight I'm going to be showing you how to make some meatloaf in our stack cooker. Alright, so without further ado, we're going to get right on to mixing. I'm going to turn my camera so you guys can watch everything down here. Alright, so in here I've got probably just about 2 pounds of meat. I've got a mixture of ground turkey and regular ground beef. So what we're going to do, I have a small onion in my chop and prep. So let me move this so that you guys can see. So I'm just going to chop this baby on up here. Real fine so it gets incorporated really nicely into our meatloaf. Alright, grab our meat mixture. Okay, so we're just going to put the entire onion. Like I said, we're looking at about one small onion, depending on how much you like onion or how big of a meatloaf you're making. Of course, that can vary. You want to use your saucy silicone spatula here to get as much of this onion out of the container on the chopper as possible, of course. Got a little left over on the motor. Alright, and then I have some breadcrumbs that have been soaking in milk for just a little bit. They look like a little bit of a paste. So I'm going to slide those babies right on out here as well. You can use whatever meatloaf recipe you want or are familiar with. Meatloaf is super flexible, so if you wanted to use all ground beef, you could use some ground pork on in there, some veal. We've got garlic, minced garlic. I'm going to do probably about a tablespoon of garlic, because you guys know I love me some garlic. Mix that right on in. 1 egg to help bind it all together with those breadcrumbs. Mix that right on in. I'm going to take my ring off here so that it doesn't get all gunky whenever I'm going to mix it all. Alright, so we've got some ketchup. And I always put a little bit of ketchup on in here just to give it a little ketchupy flavor. I've seen people do tomato sauce. You can make a type of mixture to go on top as well. A little bit of salt, just salt and pepper to taste. It's completely up to you. Got some nice freshly ground Himalayan salt. And then our Italian seasoning, of course. Sprinkle that right on down. Now remember, you want to store all of your spices in your spice shaker so that they stay fresher longer. Okay? Now, I'm going to use my hands. You don't have to use your hands. You can certainly use gloves. You can use your spatula. I don't mind using my hands to get in there and mix this all up. So that's what I'm going to do. I know some people get grossed out by meat. In chicken and anything like that. So if that is you, don't worry, you can certainly mix with a utensil. It's never bothered me. I don't know why. I don't mind mixing. Same with cookies. I don't mind mixing cookies up with my hands if I need to really get it all combined in there, if I'm making a really big batch or something like that. Alright. So you don't want to mix it a whole ton, just enough that it's all combined. Alright, this smells delicious. Garlic, onion, Italian. Alright, we see that? I'm going to wash my hands super quick. Get some of this meat on off here. Alright, so like I said, we're going to do this in our stack cooker. We have our stack cooker ready right here. What we have is our 3-quart casserole, and we have the part that drains. This is our draining one, all right? This is our colander base. And then I have the cone. So we're going to put the cone right in the middle here. And we're going to take the meatloaf and we are just going to, let me turn this around so I can hold it better. Thank goodness for the Thatsables with the little thumb hook. It makes it so much easier. All right, so I'm just going to scoop it on out. Try to get it, my cone's moving, on around the cone as best as possible. We'll even it all out and make sure it's looking prettier in just a second. I like scooping it out with the spatula just to make sure that I get every bit of it in there, right? Okay, so we are just going to mix this, flatten it on around, pack it on in. Now, whenever you're cooking something in the microwave, you can certainly do it just like this, from the raw form, and it will come out fully cooked. The stack cooker, you want to always remember 6 minutes per pound, roughly, is what you're going to be looking for. So, like I said, we've got about 2 pounds of ground beef in here. So we're going to be looking at about 12 minutes. I'm going to do it at about 10 and stop and see how it looks. Okay, we don't want to overcook it. I don't want a dry meatloaf. But now I'm just going to make it look all pretty. Check that baby out. What I love is that because we're doing it in the colander container, all of the excess fat is going to drain right into the bottom. And whenever the microwaves cook your food, they usually bounce in about 1 inch to 1.5 inches. So look at this. You've got just about 1 inch, 1.5 inches that they're going to be bouncing in and off of. That's why you want to use the cone so that everything gets cooked. So they're going to go in 1 inch or 2 around all your food and cook it. Awesome, right? And it's so easy. How long would a meatloaf usually take you to do? 45 minutes, an hour in the oven, right? This is going to take you, like I said, 10, 12, maybe 15 minutes depending on your microwave. So we are going to put this, got the cover right on here, and look how simple that was. You could totally put one of the seals on this and have this ready to go for a meal later in the week, waiting in the fridge, just ready to pop in the microwave. All right, so here we go. It's going in the microwave for about 10 minutes. So stay tuned and I will be back to show you what it looks like in 10 minutes. All right? Hang on, guys. All right, guys. The meatloaf is almost done. Let me tell you, it smells fantastic in my kitchen. And while that was cooking, it gave me enough time to get together, see, there it goes, the corn and start the potatoes for dinner tonight. I'm so excited. All right. Now remember, you always want to grab this. That didn't shut. There we go. But you see the steam coming out of here? It's hot. So make sure you grab it by the handles because they are so much cooler than the rest of the container. All right, now remember that was 10 minutes in the microwave. Let's check this on out. Let's see how she looks. Open away from you so that you don't get a face full of steam. Check out all that steam. Woo, woo. Hot meatloaf, what we want. In a partial, look at that, I think it's done. Look at this. Does that not look delicious? It has browned up. It is fully cooked. And I want to show you guys another thing here. I'm going to lift this up so that you guys can see all of the fat that has drained out. Look at that. You can just throw that away, do whatever you do with your grease. But that is so nice. You can use whatever types of beef. You can even get a lesser cut or lesser percentage, however you say that, of ground beef, because that is going to drain out your fat so much better than trying to drain it out of your loaf pan or anything like that. It just automatically drains right on in there. And here, look at this baby again. It's not pooling in any grease. It's still steaming. Doesn't that look fantastic? I'm so excited. I'm going to top it with a little bit of ketchup and call it a day. I'm going to put the cover right back on it just so that it stays nice and hot for dinner. But look at that. We had, what, 20 minutes from beginning to end of meatloaf wonderfulness, straight from the kitchen to the table, and easy to go for your family for a super easy night meal. All right, guys, thanks so much for tuning in. I hope you love the Stack Cooker, and if you think that that's something that you have to add to your kitchen, or any of the other products that you saw, the chopper, the spatula, any of the measuring cups, or the spice shakers, make sure you visit my website, lindsaypfeiffer.my.tupperware.com. Thanks for watching. See you next time.